In the vast, frozen steppes of the Soviet Union, 1941, the German Wehrmacht faced a terrifying surprise. They had conquered Europe with speed and light armor, but suddenly their shells were bouncing off a new Soviet threat, the T-34 and the KV-1 heavy tanks. German panic set in. Their existing tanks, the Panzer III and IV, were outclassed. Adolf Hitler and the German High Command demanded a solution. They didn't just want a countermeasure, they wanted a monster. They wanted a machine that could destroy any enemy tank from a distance where they could not be harmed. This desperation birthed a legend, a 57-ton beast that would become the most feared symbol of German engineering in World War II. They called it the Tiger. The development was a race. Two famous manufacturers, Porsche and Henschel, competed to design the chassis. Porsche's design was radical, using a petrol-electric hybrid drive, but it was prone to catching fire and breaking down. Henschel's design was more conventional, though still incredibly complex. Henschel won the contract. But the heart of the Tiger wasn't the engine, it was the gun, the KWK-36. It was an adaptation of the famous 88 anti-aircraft gun, a weapon so powerful it could slice through steel like butter. Combined with 100 millimeters of flat frontal armor, the Tiger was a mobile fortress. In 1942, there was virtually no Allied gun that could penetrate it from the front at standard combat ranges. Hitler was impatient. He ordered the Tigers to the front lines before they were fully tested. In September 1942, near Leningrad, the Tigers made their debut. It was a disaster. The terrain was swampy forest, the Tigers sank into the mud, transmissions failed. Of the 4 tanks sent, 3 broke down and were captured by the Soviets. However, the legend began to grow in North Africa. In Tunisia, Tigers engaged American and British forces. Here, in open country, the Tiger showed its teeth. Allied tankers watched in horror as their shells shattered harmlessly against the Tiger's hull, while the Tiger picked them off from 2,000 meters away. July 1943, the Battle of Kursk. This was the Tiger's intended playground. At Kursk, the Tigers decimated Soviet armor. Reports speak of single Tiger tanks destroying 10, 15, or even 20 enemy tanks in a single engagement. 1 year later, Normandy. The most famous incident occurred at Villers-Bocage. Tank ace Michael Wittmann, commanding a single Tiger, ambushed a British column. In less than 15 minutes, he destroyed 14 tanks and 15 transport vehicles. It demonstrated that in the hands of an expert crew, a single Tiger could stop an entire advance. But the tide was turning. The Tiger had fatal weaknesses. It guzzled fuel, something Germany was running out of. And Germany built only 1,347 Tiger Is. The U.S. built nearly 50,000 Shermans. The Soviets built over 80,000 T-34s. The Allies also adapted. The British introduced the Firefly, and the Soviets introduced the IS-2. Furthermore, Allied air superiority meant Tigers couldn't move by day without being bombed. Many Tigers were abandoned by their own crews after running out of fuel. By 1945, the Tiger I was obsolete, but the psychological impact remained. It was the first main battle tank in concept. It remains a study in contradictions, a tactical masterpiece, but a strategic failure. Today, only a handful survive. They stand in museums as silent giants of steel, reminding us of a time when the ground shook and the world held its breath at the roar of the Tiger.